And good evening, everybody. Welcome to this extraordinary edition of Steve's Sporty Balls. I am, of course, your host and congenial uh, commentator, the man with the Sporty Balls, Steve the Backsman Backs. I welcome you to this part of the universe. That's right, it is time for the Sporty Balls. Harry has taken a couple of nights off, but he'll be back announcing on Friday. But right now, the monologue. Last night or yesterday, I had some. I had a very. Hey Matt, how you doing? Yesterday, it's time for the bat. But before we do the sports, we must do one thing. I know I'm screwing up today. My apologies. It's time now for the Baxalog, and here it is. Today, I feel a lot better. Yesterday, well, that was a different story. If you must know, today was the first time I've ever been happy. Well, next to getting this place, and I don't want to lose it ever because I really love it here. And I don't want to lose it. Anyway, enough about that. Let's just get on to a few other things. So here's the deal. Here's the situation. Yesterday, I had an appointment with my um, counselor over at Segway, which is an offshoot of Lifeways. For want of a better word, last night scared me a little bit because when I go over to Segway to see Ann, they check my blood pressure, check my pulse, check my weight, height, and everything. It's sort of a health preparation, I guess, what they call it. I don't know. Well, anyway, they stuck one of those finger things on my finger, middle finger first. This little guy, little guy that checks your that in some places that checks your oxygen level. Well, it also checks your pulse. Well, my heart was beating a little low, about maybe 40 was the thing. And they even put a stethoscope on my heart. They tried to get my pulse going, the pulse from here. It didn't work. I still had a low heartbeat. I'd taken some medication, and that might have uh, contributed to the low heartbeat, but they wanted to make sure I was okay. So they sent me to the ER at Henry Ford Health. Henry Ford Health Foot Hospital. I know it says Jackson Hospital, but I call it Foot Hospital. And they did an EKG. My friend Deborah was with me at the time. They did an EKG. It was normal. They put an IV. There's the right. There's the little mark there, and they took some blood for blood test. They took X-rays on my chest and, frankly, my heart. And at about 5 o'clock, it came out all normal. It was probably a fluke of their machines over at Segway. So me and Deborah went to Wendy's to get a little grub. And she had a problem because While she was eating, she started to have a um, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oh yes, she started to have a migraine that just engulfed her to the point where she had to go to the ladies' room and she vomited up her dinner from Wendy's. We immediately went back to the emergency room where we were till about 8 o'clock p.m. I dropped her off over at my cousin in law Bruce's house and I went back to my apartment and I slept pretty good. Woke up and I've never felt as better as I do today, as I have in a long time. I slept the sleep of dreams, as I like to call it, and I'm doing okay now. I've been running back and forth from the bathroom to here, and I went to church, and I found out that Bob had the flu, but a lot more. So we're praying for Bob to have a speedy recovery, for the big guy upstairs to uh, get get him back up and get him well. As for me, I'm doing okay, but things are things have gotten okay. I have $277 rent to pay. Um, when I get this paper that I'm going to show you, when I get this paper filled out, I get to take Uno to the Cascades Humane Society to get her spayed and to get her shots. I got to fill up both sides. And when that happens, I have to pay $300 refundable security deposit. And when I do, Uno will be moving from my friend's apartment on Orange Street, my friend's house on Orange Street, to my humble abode here, which means I will be paying $287 a month, okay, of rent. And that is fine by me. So I'm happy. I'm going to be happy. I just got to do this. I got to clean this place up. I got to clean my kitchen up, get the garbage out, do my laundry. Tomorrow, which is a Thursday, I will be going to J-Town, and I'll be volunteering for a lot of duty, I guess, because that's a place where not only do you get to talk to people, meet people, have a little fun, but you do a little bit of work. Now, I'll be also going to Lifeways because I got to do one of these wellness things. Tomorrow is stress-free Thursday, and as well as doing that, I have to take my friend Deborah to work. And Friday, I've got to meet with DHS, and I've also got to meet with Social Security. Social Security, I have to meet to see if I'm still going to get my SSI. If I don't, I'm going to have to use what money I have left for rent, to pay my insurance on the car I have, and to pay on my internet. And that's going to be a ton of bucks. So I'm hoping I'm not done with the SSI, Because if I am, anyway. So I'm not going back to the shelter. No, I refuse. So that's what I'm facing. And I'm a fighter, and I fight. I'll be praying for you, Steve. I wish I could use my emotes to give you a Pegasus hug right now. All I need, Matt, is just some good prayers, some good vibes. That's all I need. But, leave us not enter this on a sad note. Leave us not uh, think negatives. Let us think positive. I am a fighter, and I am going to do what I can to save my money and to have enough to at least last a year here in Park Forest. So I open that up to all of you because it was a rough day last night. But today, I'm not going to lie to you, you said your heart rate was very low. I was panicking a bit. You weren't the only one, buddy. I had a lot of people, including my lady friend in Ohio, Piper, a comic book editor, independent comic book editor, and a pretty good lady, I guarantee you. Very creative woman. Um, she was really worried about me, and as was everyone else. But I am okay. I just got to watch out for things and not get too stressed. I got to get an appointment with Dr. Abdullah and one with my cardiologist. And I got to call. Um, I got to call my medical folks and see if I'm still able to renew my medical thing. Anyway, I got to call Meridian and renew my medical thing with them. So, thank you, Matt. I need a lot of prayers because right now I'm beginning to feel, uh, I'm just beginning to feel a little that I've got a big, tough decision to make. But I'm not going to make it yet. It's not time. Anyway, I've got a lot to do in here. I got to clean this up. I got to see if this will fit this. I got to get me a bed frame. They got one over at Angie's home, just waiting for me. I've got to get a desk. I've got to get a dresser. I got to get a nightstand. I got to get a lot of things. I got to get a couple more chairs for the kitchen table here. I got to clean my kitchen. I got to take the garbage out. I got to do some laundry. And it's going to be a fun rest of the week and into the weekend. I've got enough food for about a couple of months, so no worries on that. I got to clean out my refrigerator and freezer. And I got to start exercising because here in this building, there is an exercise room next to the craft room. So that is what's been happening with me. I got a lot to do, and I'm just hoping things go the right way. Right now, I got to pay $277 for rent. I've already paid my internet bill, which is $45. So I don't have to worry about that because that's all I got to pay up here is the internet and cable. And since I don't have cable, nor do I want it, The internet is all I want, so that's going to be of news. It's going to be good because without it, I can't be doing this. But I've got, let's see, 277, 40 to $45. I've got $206.80 because I missed a payment, which I didn't know I had. I thought I got it all, but I did not. And I got to pay about $10 on the rent of my beacon that records everything I do when I drive. Anyway, just thought you might like to know how this week has been going so far for me. But that is the monologue or the Baxalog, excuse me. Right now, Jay told me he might just have to wait on buying might have to get a new laptop. Either way, I'm just here to say we fight on, we move on, we are strong. When we fall off that horse, we dust ourselves off and we fight. And I'm going to be fighting no matter what happens. But right now, that is going to be for another time. But I thought you would want to know what happened to me last night and what's been going on with me so far as we begin the countdown away from February and the start of March, which is going to really be hard on me, especially March 1st. Anyway, we'll talk about that soon. Right now, this is a happy time. Thanks for letting us know, Steve. Apologies for missing the stream yesterday. That's okay, pal. It happens to all of us. But right now, we got some sports news to tell you about. Let's get going first in college football action. Or actually, in college football, the College Football Playoff Management Committee met Wednesday in the wake of the official move to the 5+7 model for the 2024 and 2025 seasons. The Management Committee, which is made up of the FBS commissioners and the Notre Dame athletic director, has now been tasked with negotiating a future for the college football playoffs for 2026 and beyond. That includes the format for the playoffs, revenue distribution, and the media rights deal. Going into the meeting, all parties involved were expected to put their so-called cards on the table, according to Denny Dodd of CBS. Early reports from the first day of meetings suggest conference commissioners did just that, with several ideas emerging that would shake up the status quo, at least we hope. The Big Ten and the SEC have been at the center of the discussions for college football's future since forming their joint advisory board, and multiple sources told Dodd the two conferences were expected to request multiple automatic bids to the new format. Other potential changes could include expanding the field to 14 to even 16 teams. Conference commissioners confirmed that both expansion and more auto bids were discussed, though concrete decisions are a ways off. Though the CFP Management Committee members seem to be echoing the no decisions line, there is urgency for an agreement to be made. The number of teams in the field and the makeup of the playoff dictate the final details of a new media rights contract for the playoff, which sets the number for revenue distribution decisions. CFP Executive Chairman Bill Hancock laid out a soft decline, or no, not decline, laid out a soft deadline for those final decisions, telling Yahoo Sports he'd like to see it done within the month. Wow. That's some big news, and they're still trying to hammer out a deal. There have been reports, we even reported, that a deal was made with ESPN. Obviously, that was incorrect. We do apologize for that. But as they say, life continues, and thus, so do we. Let's see. In other football news, the National Football League, the Dallas Cowboys have hired former Boston College offensive coordinator Steve Schmetko to be the team's new offensive assistant, according to ESPN. Schmetko will replace Will Harriger, who left to become the Carolina Panthers' new quarterback coach. Shimko, I pronounced his name wrong. I do apologize. Shimko will reunite in Dallas with Cowboys offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. The two were together on the Seattle Seahawks coaching staff during the 2018-2019 seasons, with which Shimko uh, loan experience until now. The 34-year-old immediately got into coaching after playing quarterback at Rutgers. He served as a grad assistant at his alma mater before marketing stops at Western Michigan, Georgia, and Garden City Community College. Following his 2-year run as Seahawks assistant quarterback coach, Shimko coached tight ends in 2020 and 21 and quarterbacks at Boston College before becoming the team's offensive coordinator last season. During his lone year as offensive coordinator, the Eagles averaged 24.8 points per game. That included 29 against the tough Florida State defense on September 16th. Boston College scored 23 points in their Fenway Bowl victory over then 17th ranked SMU. The Eagles' top offensive player last season was quarterback Thomas Castellano, who, along with throwing 15 touchdown passes, rushed for a team high of 1,113 yards and 13 touchdowns. Castellanos led an Eagles rushing attack that gained over 2,500 yards. Boston College success on the ground last year is probably one reason why the Cowboys hired Shimko. Dallas has made no secret about wanting to improve its running game that has placed 14th in the NFL in yards gained in 2023. Okay, Vic, keep on going and going and going. Let's see, what else we got here? In Major League Baseball, Netflix, the Montreal Expos closed up shop and moved to Washington, D.C. in 2004. The story of their fall is coming to Netflix. On Wednesday, Netflix announced a new documentary centering around the setbacks that led to the departure of the Montreal Expos. The Expos spent 35 years in Montreal, making the playoffs just once in that time. The franchise left the city on a 23-year playoff drought, and the Expos were averaging under 10,000 fans per game in their final season. The franchise moved to Washington, D.C. and relaunched as the Washington Nationals in 2005. Netflix will work with Montreal-based production company Attraction on the product, and Jean-Francois Poisson will direct. Attraction president Richard Spears says he looks forward to telling the story of the Expos, who still have fans throughout the city and who still want Major League Baseball to bring a team back to Montreal. This isn't the only baseball production that Netflix has in the works. Cameras have already started following the Boston Red Sox around at spring training for the docuseries about their 2024 season. Netflix is also developing a series about the 2004 Red Sox winning the franchise's first World Series in 86 years. Okay, it is 12:01. And we are going to keep going. Another. Speaking of big stories, the NFL just made one big story. After trying out the first playoff game exclusively on a streaming service, Peacock, To massive success, the NFL is giving it another shot in 2025. But this time, it won't be on Peacock. It'll be Amazon Prime Video that will broadcast a wild card playoff game next postseason, per the Wall Street Journal, when Peacock paid the rights to broadcast this postseason. Front Office Sports is reporting that Prime Video is paying an estimated $120 million for exclusive rights to the game. The NFL has yet to confirm that will be a Black Friday game in 2024, which Amazon paid $100 million to air. Amazon earned the right to broadcast the game based on a clause in the NFL's current TV contract, which started this season. The wildcard game on Peacock was a success for the league as Peacock gained 2.8 million new subscribers and 23 million watched the Kansas City Chiefs' victory over the Miami Dolphins. This past season, NBC Universal paid the NFL $110 million last year for rights to carry a wildcard game on Peacock, which was a one-year deal which had exclusive games on streaming in the regular season. Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, international game on ESPN Plus, and a Saturday night game on Peacock. Now, as part of the TV contract for 2024, CBS is scheduled to carry two wildcard games. Fox one wildcard game, NBC one wildcard game on Sunday night, and ESPN on Monday night. All four broadcast partners will broadcast one divisional playoff game, while Fox will broadcast the Super Bowl this year, Super Bowl 59. Games streamed during the next regular season will be the Thursday Night Football games on Amazon Prime and Twitch, one game exclusively on Peacock, and one international series game exclusively on ESPN. Okay, we continue on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And hello, Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, and MCU. Let's see what else we got here in the news that we can bring you. But right now, we're going to go from the news to the scoreboard. That's right. We got a scoreboard coming up. We'll also give you some late-breaking entertainment news and a whole lot more. We are at 4 minutes past the hour of midnight. We've hit the midnight hour. That's right, you heard me. We have hit the midnight hour, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let us see if we can do it this way. Boop. Okay, let's go to the scoreboard. And when I get the green screen up, when we move to the little studio there, I'll get the green screen up, and hopefully we will have a, scoreboard right there, and we'll have all the stuff on it. But right now, let's give you, speaking of football, let's start first with the Premier League. And Liverpool beat Luton Town by a score of 4-1. In the Champions League, round of 16, FC Porto won against Arsenal 1-0. Napoli and Barcelona tied at 1. In MLS action, it was Inter Miami CF over Real Salt Lake 2-0. Let's see. Do we have anything else? In women's friendlies, international friendlies, soccer, Indian women defeated Estonian women 4-3. Kosovo women over Hong Kong women 1-0. Finland women beat the Philippines women 4-0. Portugal women over the Czech Republic women 3-1. I do believe. Let's see. Is that all we have in this wide world of goodness here? I think so. The MLS, we are proud to say thank you very much. Okay, so I don't think we got anything from Australia here. Nope, I don't think so. Just checking here to see. Nope, no other games to tell you. Uh, Go to livescore.com/en/ um, yeah, let's see, livescore.com, livescore.com /en/. Um, then you'll find the rest of the rest, or the best of the rest, as I say. Okay, it is time for us to give you the hockey scores and Dandelion Fluff. Once again, this is your segment. In the National Hockey League, the Buffalo Sabres defeated the Montreal Canadiens 3-2. Philadelphia Flyers over the Chicago Blackhawks 3-1. Columbus Blue Jackets and the Anaheim Ducks tied at 4 in the third period. Also still playing, the Toronto Maple Leafs lead the Arizona Coyotes 4-3, and the Boston Bruins lead the Edmonton Oilers 4-2. In other action, in the OHL, 2 games the Ontario Hockey League had. Barrie Colts over the Owen Sound Attack 4-3, and the Saginaw Spirit defeated the Flint Firebirds 3-1. In the WHL, it was the Edmonton Oil Kings over the Calgary Hitmen 5-4, the Lethbridge Hurricanes over the Moose Jaw Warriors by a score of 6-3. Meanwhile, here in the States, here in the jungle, in the AHL, it's Grand Rapids Griffins over the Texas Stars 1-0. Hartford Wolfpack over the Bridgeport Islanders 2-1. Let me just go back here for a second. Do we have any games in progress? Oh, yes. Oh, I've already said that. In progress, Anaheim Ducks, Columbus Blue Jackets tied at 4. Toronto Maple Leafs, Arizona Coyotes 4-3. And Boston Bruins, Edmonton Oilers 4-2. Those games still going on. Okay, let's get you to where we got to go. That is to the AHL. Grand Rapids Griffins beat the Texas Stars by a score of 1-0. Hartford Wolfpack over the Bridgeport Islanders 2-1. Laval Rocket over the Hershey Bears 3-2. Belleville Senators over the Rochester Americans 4-1. Lehigh Valley Phantoms over the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins 3-2. Rockford Ice Hogs over the Iowa Wild 3-1. In the third period, the Ontario Reign lead the Abbotsford Canucks 1-0. Also in period number 3, it's Coachella Valley 4, the Coachella Valley Firebirds 4, the San Jose Barracuda 3. That's your hockey scores for right now. Let's go now to basketball. Yes, they're playing basketball. Finally. Well, not finally yet. They're still in their timeout, their old little all-star weekend. But right now, the Basketball Super League in Canada, only one game to report on. The Newfoundland Rogues defeated the Reading Rebels 144-127. Let's see. In the NCAA, the Army Black Knights lost to the Lehigh Mountain Hawks 85-54. Wait a minute. Let's do it this way since we have regular season. And there we go. We're going to give you the scores, but we have to go back and forth from live score to CBS Sports. So let's do that, shall we? Thank you. Okay, let's get you some scores. Let's start off with men's basketball. as their season is coming up to a conclusion. Right now, the 12th ranked Illinois lost to Penn State 90-89. 16th ranked Dayton lost to George Mason 71-67. Is that 15th or 16th? Can we look at that, please? 15th. Okay. Final in overtime. 11th ranked. Sure, it's 11. No, 19th. Yeah, 19th ranked Alabama defeated number 20 ranked 24. Yeah, 24th ranked Florida 98-93. Number 8 Duke defeated Miami 84-55. Number 7 Marquette over DePaul 105-71. Excuse me. Number 17 Kentucky, a loser to LSU 75-74. And 22nd ranked Colorado State lost to New Mexico 68-66. Now, here are the women's scores for you. Duquesne over George Washington 79-69. Northern Illinois over Buffalo 66-57. SC Upstate over Charleston Southern 89-66. South Florida 78-68 winner over East Carolina. Boston U over America 58-56. Final in overtime. Final in overtime. Holy Cross 58, Bucknell 47. Richmond 74, LaSalle 54. VCU 59, St. Joseph's 48, Lehigh 77, Army 60, Colgate 75, Lafayette 49, Ball State beat Central Michigan 78-54, Longwood beat UNC Ashland 66-60, Winthrop. When Presbyterian over Winthrop 62-40, Butler over Xavier 84-46, Bowling Green over Akron 74-68, Maryland over Rutgers 81-62, Ohio over Kent State 79-77, Michigan State sliced up Purdue by a score of 68-59. Toledo over Miami of Ohio, 68-36. Western Michigan over Eastern Michigan, 65-55. Wright State over Robert Morris, 76-68. Cleveland State, 75. IUPUI, 52. PFW, 70. North Kentucky, 56. Yay. Okay, let's keep going. Hello there. Okay, PFW over Northern Kentucky, 70-58. Gardner Webb over Radford, 63-58. Let's put you back on the stand here. Fordham over St. Louis, 79-64. George Mason over St. Bonaventure, 57-53. Loyola of Chicago over UMass, 64-52. Navy over Loyola, Maryland, 53-51. Villanova, 68-58 winner over Providence. Dayton, a 112-45 winner over Hamilton. Middle Tennessee over Jackson State, 66-40. Charlotte, a winner over North Texas, 70-69. Tulsa, winner over UAB, 84-72. In overtime, 22nd ranked West Virginia loses to number 15 ranked Kansas City, 73-64. Oklahoma State over UCF, 67-54. Troy over Arkansas State, 77-65. Louisiana, 74-42, winner over South Alabama. Marshall, an 85-59 winner over Texas State. Baylor, the number 24, number 24 ranked team, was a winner over Kansas, 69-61. Iowa State over Houston, 76-64. Texas Tech over number 5 ranked Texas, Texas over number 5 ranked Texas, a winner over Texas Tech, 77-72. UT Arlington over Southern Utah, 78-70. In overtime, UNLV beat Wyoming 63-60. Boise State over New Mexico, 58-55. TCU over BYU by a score of 68-58. Fresno State over Nevada, 57-45. San Diego State over Air Force, 73-63. Utah State and San Diego State are the last, and are the last. Utah State won by 71-70. Let's update you on the scoreboard for the NHL. Both games in the third period. 9:20 left to play in regulation. Blue Jackets lead the Ducks 6-4. Still early in the third, Maple Leafs score 2, making the score 5-3. And at the end of the second, it's Bruins 4, Oilers 2. And we've already given out the final scores, so we is happy, you is happy, and everybody is exact. So that is that. Oh, boy. If you will excuse me for a couple of moments, I'm going to get me a little drink, and we'll catch up on some entertainment news. But first, I'm going to get me a drink. It's been a wild day, folks. Trust me on this. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. There we go. Everybody's okay. I've just got me a little frozen strawberry little thing that I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to continue our broadcast. Like I said, our broadcast is going to be very open, and the monologue is as well. So this is why we've been doing what we're doing here. And that sound you're hearing is my electric tea kettle. Okay. Um, in the National Hockey League, we've already given you scores, but we haven't given you the big news. And the big news is this: another chapter in the Michigan Ohio rivalry will be written in 2025 as the Columbus Blue Jackets will host the Detroit Red Wings in an outdoor game at the Horseshoe at Ohio Stadium March 1st of 2025, according to an NHL announcement. The iconic stadium, which has been dubbed, as we said, the Horseshoe, has consistently held over 110,000 fans for college football games, including many matchups between Michigan and Ohio State. Now, it would be the first marquee event in Columbus since the Blue Jackets hosted the 2015 NHL All Star Game. According to The Athletic, that bastion of truth, the NHL sent a group of executives headed by Vice President of Creative Development Stephen Mayer to Ohio Stadium to watch the Ohio State Michigan State game on November 11th to scout the venue for a potential outdoor matchup. This will mark the first ever outdoor game. The Atlanta for the Blue Jackets, the Arizona Coyotes and Florida Panthers are the only other teams that have yet to play in one of the league's 41 outdoor games. Now, the league began holding outdoor games when the first Winter Classic took place on January 1st, 2008, between the Sabres and the Pittsburgh Penguins at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. This particular matchup will be part of the NHL Stadium Series. In this year's Stadium Series, Flyers took on the New Jersey Devils, and the New York Rangers faced the New York Islanders at MetLife Stadium. So that is that of that in that. Okay. Tea is done. I shall return shortly. Tea is done. Tea is done. Everybody is happy, happy, joy, joy. You cup, cup. You cup, cup. Just a cup, cup. There we go. Oh, sorry. Lost my head there. Oops. Temper. Okay, need some sweetener. Oh, there it is. There's some Splendor. Should have got me some lemons because I love tea with I love lemon with my tea. So get this going. Everybody plays a fool. Yes. Let the excitement let us go. Yes, baby. Okay. Everybody plays the fool. Everything's okay. Everything is away from the machines for now. Okay. We're not done yet. We still got a couple of things we want to do with you, so please bear with. I just got to put this tea down and get right back in. What was that dropped? Yeah, the spoon, but it got caught. Goody. Okay. And it still went down. Okay. Stay. Okay, we did that. Let us, for right now, if we forgot any sports, don't worry. We will attempt to bring you full report on tomorrow's broadcast. We promise you a full show. You're going to get a full show. Okay. Several big sports events are headed to Lansing. Let's find out about that before we, as they say, go any further. We're about 8 minutes left in our broadcast. The Lansing Sports Commission reported Wednesday 4 significant sporting events are headed to mid-Michigan in the near future. Some 2,000 athletes are expected from around the country. USA Archery USA Archery Indoor Nationals will take place at the Eaton County Fairhouse February 23rd through 25th. The 82nd Annual Night of Columbus State Bowling Tournament is ongoing now at Royal Scott Lanes in Lansing through March 24th. The Lansing Center is hosting the Drop It Like It's Hot Gymnastics Invitational February 23rd through 25th. And the NJCAA Men's and Women's Bowling Championship is being staged at Royal Scott February 29th and March 2nd. Wait a minute, those are big sporting events? Has anyone heard of those things? By the way, we do have to. Here we go. There was second thoughts, or were there second thoughts on the call on NASCAR for the correct call on the Daytona 500 photo finish? Now, there still is a decent amount of chatter on social media on whether Alec Bowman and not William Byron won the Daytona 500 on Monday night. The biggest piece of evidence in Bowman's in-car camera, where he appears to be ahead when the yellow light comes on. But as referees in the NFL would say upon further review, it appears that the video actually indicates NASCAR made the right decision. When NASCAR calls a caution, the field is frozen and drivers don't lose spots as long as they keep a reasonable speed. This is done by NASCAR's race director hitting a button that triggers the lights and also registers a timestamp as far as time into the race, and it activates scoring to print out the running order at the previous scoring loop, except on the last lap of a stage or a race. NASCAR uses the previous scoring loop embedded into the track to determine the order. Now, on the last lap, they match that timestamp with their video, which has the same timer to make the call as far as position. NASCAR released a photo that it says is the overhead view that matches the timestamp at the time of caution. There are no timestamps shown, however. The lights atop the flag stand, appear to be changing from green to yellow. It shows Byron ahead of Bowman. Then there's Bowman's in-car camera video that shows him side by side with Byron. And when the yellow light comes on from that angle, it appears Bowman is ahead. But watching the video frame by frame, the green light goes out for a second or so before the yellow light goes on. When the green light goes out, which logically would be the time NASCAR triggered the lights to change from green to yellow, Byron appears to be inches ahead of Bowman. Now, Bowman obviously is in a tough place because he can't argue too much that he won, since it was a battle of 100 teammates. But it didn't sound like he thought he won during his television interview after the race. Based on that demeanor in the photos and videos, it seems NASCAR made the right call. This will have more, obviously Fox will have more on this Sunday live from Hotlanta. That's going to be race number 2. Okay. K-Side Seat is reporting the following, that a lot has happened since the National Wrestling Alliance owner, Billy Corgan, who's a member of the leader of the Smashing Pumpkins rock group, announced his promotion has two separate television deals with a top 20 network in October of last year. Several of the things that have happened have involved NWA content streaming on the CW's online platforms. New episodes of their flagship show Power started premiering on the CW app earlier this month, for instance. Today, the NWA is making it all official in a press release that also clarifies how their pay-per-view type events will be repackaged for Power and announces the behind-the-scenes reality show that's been talked about for months. So here's the thing. Here's the press release. Grammy Award-winning founder of the Smashing Pumpkins and NWA president Billy Corgan proudly announces an exclusive streaming deal for the NWA with the CW. Under this newly minted all-encompassing partnership, multiple NWA programs will be streaming and on demand via the CW platform and portal in the United States. Democratizing access to action-packed wrestling from some of the sport's biggest, boldest, and brightest personalities. All programming is notably available free of charge and without subscription via the CW app. It represents a monumental power move for the NWA partnership. The partnership not only amplifies the brand's presence throughout popular culture and the zeitgeist, but also sets a precedent for wrestling at large. NWA Power is live on the platform now and features Return to Robarts programming emanating from the historic Robarts Arena in Sarasota, Florida. New episodes air weekly Tuesdays, with past seasons also available to stream. Additionally, the much anticipated Paranoia live event on Power is now also available on the CW, shot January 13th, 2024 at Revolution Live in Fort Lauderdale. The signature live event, Paranoia, features some of the league's top stars and a myriad of thrilling, high-octane matches. Next up, the massive signature live event, Hard Times 24, premiere on the platform as part of future episodes of NWA Power, streaming on both CWTV.com and the CW app. Now, what this means mainly is NWA Power won't be on the CW in terrestrial TV, or as we like to used to call it, broadcast TV. It'll be on the app. The CW will be the TV home of WWE NXT starting this October. So WWE will be seen on the CW, whereas the NWA will be on the app of the CW. Let's see what else is happening here. If we can, or is that going to do it? I think that's going to do it. We got about a minute left. We'll tell you tomorrow the change for last opening credits with David McCallum. Brian Deitzen had a chance to talk to TV Insider with that. We'll let you in on that. We'll have other little news and notes from the TV side as well as the radio side. We'll also give you the results of Monday Night Raw and a whole lot more. That'll be tomorrow night at 11:35 p.m. Eastern Time. But for right now, that is going to do it for us. We have made it possible. We made it again. No problems. And please hit that like button. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. The best and weirdest sports show is back, and we're here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Steve the Baxman Baxley. I'll see you tomorrow night at 11:35. Thank you all. This has been a Mystifying Creativity production in association with the L2C Media Network. And don't worry, I was banging on this to get it all loosened up. There we go. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Love you all. Thank you. Take care. And remember to always be kind.